16th of July 2021, 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time. A very good evening to all our mentorship traders. As always, Friday evening session. Apologies first that last Friday I was not able to conduct this particular session as I was out of the city. So sorry for that, but this week we are back and we're going to talk about the index, few sectors, and then we'll go on talk about what are the stocks that we can look from a medium to long-term perspective. Nifty, we have a new live high this week, which was good. Now, this is the daily chart of Nifty Spot. An interesting aspect of this chart is the breakout bar. This is yesterday, Thursday. Friday today was more like a, you can call it a time pass, a consolidation. It's created like a bearish Harami pattern on the daily time frame. If you use the candlestick charts, you'll be able to see that. Distinct drop of volumes. I have this the 5-day average here, so volumes have been distinctly on the lower side. So what can we expect going forward? The underlying trend has proven itself really well. It's up, it's strong, it's resilient. Short-term trend have been volatile. That is okay because the market was stuck in a range for quite some time. Now, in this kind of breakouts, generally we see a time-based consolidation, which we have seen today. And if it continues to be a time-based consolidation, then eventually the trend continues. Eventually the market will continue to go up. In that case, 16K and 16,500 kind of levels will open up. On the flip side, the side where we should be a little worried about is, I would say, Wednesday's low. This low. This low for me plays an important role. For the futures market, it is at around 15,777. So you can use 15,800 and further down. But it's not breaking this low. It's more about breaking the low immediately. Means, excuse me, if Thursday was the breakout, that was yesterday, and if the index slips within the next 2 to 3 days, then clearly this would turn out to be a breakout failure. Okay, and if this turns out to be a breakout failure, then for the next couple of weeks or more, we should be really careful. So use 15,800, 15,777, if you remember this number, this level. Till that happens, I think we can continue to stay bullish. The lower time frames, 75-minute time frame, a beautiful uptrend, moving averages rolling up. We had a pretty decent one-way rally, so this kind of a consolidation correction is fairly okay. The last time I checked the SGX today evening, it was down around 50-60 points. So Monday, if it's open, it's a little soft. It's okay. It's okay. It's a healthy market. Weekly charts have inched up a little bit. You can see this over here. So it did go through a range-bound consolidation. Monthly chart midway this month, still not a pretty big range, but still okay. It's just further extending itself on the upside. If you take a look at the VIX, it's at precariously interesting levels, which is close to that 12 mark. It's around 11.7. And if you take a look at the historical levels of VIX over the last few months, or let's say 2020 onwards, then we are looking at levels that we saw last time around December 2019. You know what happened after that. And then we had around Feb, which was around 13.5. So if you see, VIX is essentially a sentiment indicator. Okay, it's a fear indicator. And these kind of levels, can it fall further down to 10 and further down? Yes, it can. It can, and it is possible that in the past it has. So do not get carried away that it's too low, so market will fall. Market will fall when you expect it the least. That's what my beliefs are. So we continue to stay with the trend. We continue to stay cautiously bullish, considering we have a breakout and it can lead to a breakout failure, and considering when we map it with the India VIX. So Nifty overall markets stay cautiously bullish. We will like to stay cautiously bullish because of these sector specific or stock specific movements, the way cements have moved, the way real estate have moved, the way all of a sudden IT gave a crazy bounce back. So there will be opportunities on the long side. It's not that there won't be any opportunities to go long. There will be. It will be more like a sector specific or stock specific market, right? If we take a look at the Bank Nifty index now, the Bank Nifty is still quite away from its all-time highs. So it needs to do a catch-up game. Now, this guy gave us a breakout similar to the Nifty on Thursday, this one. This is essentially the breakout. I am calling this the breakout bar. And that's kind of okay. I think if we draw a line, something like this, this is the breakout bar. And today we've seen an immediate slip down. It has slipped below that psychological 36,000 mark. Trend is all right. Every time it has given a short-term correction, it has led to bounce back. So healthy trend, swing longs have worked really well. Again, Wednesday's low, please. So Wednesday's low for the Bank Nifty comes in at 35,555. So you should be able to remember these numbers. 555 for the Bank Nifty, 777 for the Nifty. It's quite uncanny, nevertheless. So 35,555 is the level. If we see a breach of this Monday, Tuesday, I would definitely suggest you to stay away adding any long positions in a hurry. We will add long positions, but not in a hurry. This will be the first sign that the markets are little stressed, and your VIX in that case will start to kick in. Private sector banks played out well, iBank, HDFC Bank, and I think if the downside does not come, and if it continues to hold and extend further up, if the Bank Nifty supports the overall market to a new life high for itself, then iBank, HDFC Bank definitely will play a role. ICICI Bank will definitely play a role. One stock that I was looking closely for the last few days is State Bank of India. It caught my attention because of the extreme drop of volumes and extreme drop of range. Generally, when we have a combination of a drop of range and volumes like this, it generally gives us a breakout. The trend is up, it is consolidating, the breakout should come. 434.5, 435 is your breakout level. You got some resistance at 438, 440. So we know it trends well. We know it's one of the most highly traded stock within the banking. So maybe State Bank of India can play a role if the downside doesn't happen. Bob disappoints. PNB had gone through quite an extended correction. So if you look at the way PNB has corrected, if you look at the way Bob has corrected, but then if you look at State Bank of India, it's rock solid. It's right up there. So, and it's got some decent weightage also. So iBank, HDFC Bank, and State Bank of India, I would suggest you can continue to look at. One more stock, you can look for some movement early next week amongst the auto, Maruti. Beautiful inside bar that we have here. If I draw a quick volume profile over the last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, you would see that the point of control has come down towards that 7,300 mark. What this means is over the last 3, 6, 9, 10 trading sessions, this is where the maximum volumes are getting accumulated. This is a sign of a probabilistic bottoming out, short term at least bottoming out. The stock has given us a two-legged correction, and it has given us an inside bar, drop of volumes significantly below the 5-day average. So auto, within the auto four-wheelers, we can get some movement coming in from Maruti. Tata Motors is something I would request you to stay away from. It's going to stay volatile like it was over the last 2 days. Mahindra, not so promising right now. It's gone through a 5-day bounce back. The trend is down, so I'm not too keen. Within the four-wheelers, if I would like to trade the breakout, or I would rather say want to trade the bounce back, then it will be Maruti. And within the two-wheelers, if you take a look at Hero MotoCo and Bajaj Auto, both of them are in a short-term downtrend. But if you take a look at their weekly charts, There you go. Bajaj Auto weekly goes through 6 weeks, 1.5 months of correction. And what are we looking at? We are looking at almost a 10% correction from the stock. These guys, Hero Motoko, on the other hand, is in a downtrend, even on the weekly charts. So I will not be willing to trade Hero Motoko. I'll be more interested with Bajaj Auto. So auto stocks can play a role. IT has been performing well. Pharma is also doing good. Real estate gave an amazing move this week. DLF, Godrej Properties, Oberoi Real Estate. So that space is likely to slow down a little bit. It's likely to be a stock specific. Before I go to pharma and before I, in fact, close down today's market wrap, I would like to talk about Reliance Industries. Now, Reliance in today's session, right from 9:15 a.m., definitely saw signs of strong buying right from the very open, and it closed also fairly strong. Let's take a look at the weekly chart, and we'll be quite disappointed because the stock has not gone anywhere for many months. Okay, almost, it's turning out to be a year now. It's completely stuck. It's been a trading stock. If you take a look at the daily chart, downtrend trying to bounce back. Now, for Reliance, the way I see it, this is going to be make or break. Let me open the Reliance spot chart. I'm doing this because there are a couple of freak trades on the futures which disrupts the low. Now, this is where Reliance stands. The way I see it is today's move was definitely encouraging. If this has to be a failure, today's move, if it fizzles over the next 2 days, if at all, and if it breaks this low, then it's going to give us a decent move on the downside. Trading View suggests that there's earnings coming up for the stock. If I keep my cursor down here, it will give me the date. Yes, it's around 23rd of July, so mid next week. On the other hand, if this continues, then we would definitely like to see a sustained close above 2110, 2120 kind of levels. Then definitely 2150 and further upsides is there. It's in a very uncanny, precarious situation. It's a very important stock. That's why I thought of spending some time talking about it. The other OMCs, I was very closely looking at them for a couple of weeks, 1.5 weeks now, for a prospective bounce back. It never came. So these guys are going through some serious correction. In Petro, we know that gap down. BPCL also extending. If you take a look at the correction from a high to low basis, BPCL has gone over 10%. Yeah, 9.8%. So these corrections have been fairly large enough considering the movement that these stocks give. So GAIL also one very big disappointment. So this space deeply oversold can give some short-term support, but don't expect too much. Reliance is the one that you should look at. Amongst the pharma, most of the stocks look decent, but Lupin is one you would like to take a look at. There you go, on the verge of a breakout. It's been consolidating for quite some time. An early movement into an uptrend. Moving average is turning green. Break above Thursday's high, 1177, 1178. And you have a move on the upside. It will try and come close to that gap, which is at 1200. So Lupin is one definite counter. So let's sum it up. Let's wrap it this weekly take on the markets. Cautiously bullish, cautious because Nifty can lead to a breakout failure. VIX is at uncanny, it's at extreme levels. Bank Nifty also did not support in today's trade. So both the Nifty and the Bank Nifty can lead to a breakout failures. Remember those levels: 777 for the Nifty and 555 for the Bank Nifty. That's the cautious side, and the bullish side, because the markets are still giving us decent stock movements and sectoral movements, especially in the mid and small cap space. So we might miss out. Small short-term traders definitely will miss out on these swift small moves. So stay cautiously bullish until these levels are breached. Till then, let's try and make the most as long as the momentum continues. Right? Okay, that's enough for the market. Now let's straight away go and talk about your stocks that you have in your portfolio and what all that we can add in our next week.